You're welcome to today's episode of Time with Alumni, and we have on the show today with us Engineer Dr. Patrick Amoah Bekoe. He's an alumnus of the prestigious College of Engineering, and he is also vying for Vice President of the Ghana Institution of Engineers. So let's go straight ahead. You're welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we'd like to ask you to tell us something about yourself.
Thank you. As you rightly said, I'm Engineer Dr. Patrick Amoah Bekoe, an alumnus and graduated in 2002 from the Civil Engineering Department of the College of Engineering. After my graduation, I went to do my national service at Yab Engineering Service, a private construction firm. Thereafter, I had one or two what I call side gigs. I worked with Daewoo for a very short period, worked with one private consulting firm, then joined the Public Service of Ghana, the Department of Feeder Roads. So I've been with the Department of Feeder Roads till now, but in between, I went to do my master's at the University of Florida, where I did master's in engineering, and then later on to do my PhD in civil engineering and a Master of Science, a Master of Arts in Economics. So I have two masters and a PhD post KNUST.
Okay.
Currently, I'm a chief engineer at the Department of Feeder Roads, responsible for development and also World Bank projects.
Thank you. So you're the chief engineer at Feeder Roads.
Yes, precisely.
All right. Working as Feeder Roads as a civil engineer,
Yes,
you work with roads because it's
Exactly.
roads. And these feeder roads are the roads that are found in outside urban cities.
exactly.
Okay.
So these are roads that move from, let me say, the farm gates
Okay.
to the highway or to market centers. They are the roads that bring you food on your table. They are the roads that you get your pepper, that you get your yam, that you get everything that you can think of. And for me, that is the most important aspect of transportation, which I call the first mile.
Okay. So how many of those roads, just by the way, have been created?
All right, so in Ghana right now, we have about 87 kilometers, and the Ministry of Transportation, Roads and Highways, working on the exact number. But about 40, more than 50% of those roads are feeder roads, 48,000 kilometers of feeder of the road network in Ghana are feeder roads. And we control a chunk of the roads that we have. Although most of our roads are gravel and earth roads, but engineering them is very key.
So what exactly do you do? Just more clarity on it. You go and then when?
All right.
Yeah.
So let me say road development starts from planning your roads, identifying the roads, the need, identifying the best routes that the road, because there are multiple ways to reach a particular destination.
Yes.
But you also need to identify the best route to get to a particular destination. Also understanding the needs. Sometimes the need for transportation may not necessarily be road, but it could be any other means. It could be that they just need a path.
Okay.
But so you do the right analysis, needs analysis, and ensure that you, one, have the right traffic. Beyond the traffic, beyond roads, maybe the people may, or the communities may need other facilities. So the planning aspect of road development is key. Then beyond the planning, or let me say at the early stage of the planning, you need to do the necessary engineering studies. And that's what we do, the surveys, understanding the ground conditions, geotechnical, pavement designs, hydraulic designs, ensuring that the road is fair. So there are a lot of planning activities that goes. Then by nature, we don't construct roads, we get third parties, typically contractors, to help us. And so we now have to prepare procurement processes.
Okay.
And then we'll procure a third-party contractor to come to do the construction for us. And then we supervise them to ensure that we have value for money. And then beyond the construction, we need to ensure that we monitor the roads and they are maintained over a period of time. So after construction, we maintain the roads. Okay. So as we speak, out of the 48,000 that we are talking about, we have about 32,000 that we have properly engineered and that we maintain annually as a department. So as a chief engineer, as I said, I'm responsible for the bigger issues of planning, bigger issues of maintenance, and also procurement. That's what I do at the department at the head office in Accra.
You were talking about the need for geotechnical expertise, and that means you employ other kinds of engineers.
Actually, yes. So within our department, our engineers have this requisite skill. Geotechnical skills are needed, as I said. Pavement experts are needed. Geodetic, so we work with geodetic engineers as civil engineers. Geodetic experts are needed. Transportation planners at the planning stage. So some of our staff are transportation planners, and we also have highway engineers. Some of them are highway designers within the Department of Federal Roads. We call them highway, but we call basically road designers who help in the overall design of the road. And of course, we have drainage engineers.
I was going to ask if you
Yes,
had.
so we have drainage engineers because for roads, water is very key, and ensure that we do not have excess water on
to
damage our roads. Yeah.
Okay. I'm very curious about the feeder roads aspect. You said they are the roads that lead us to our farms and then bring our food to us.
Exactly.
So you said too that these roads are, you go scout to see, first of all, because there are several ways to a place.
Yes. Yes.
And when you identify that, oh, this is the most feasible,
Yes.
you go and create the road out of nowhere, a forest and all that.
So yes, I mean, at the early stages, those are roads that we create sometimes out of forest, but because of the sparse nature of our settlement, sometimes the communities themselves call on us, call on our regional offices that we need this road. Sometimes the communities themselves take in their initiative, create some path, and those paths may not be engineered, and that is when we go in to help engineer those roads. Of course, land acquisition and other things are very important in this respect.
Yeah, thank you. So how much do you think your civil engineering education has impacted or helped you with your current career?
Very, very well. I think I have a lot to say about my education from KNUST. Let me start by saying that what I got over 20 years ago is timeless. The education is timeless. It's not something you say that after a short period it becomes useless. It's timeless, and it formed the basis of who I am. And I believe every other engineer, KNUST is the best place to be. And I'm not saying this as flattery, but it's very important because we got the best of lecturers. We got the best of people who were practical. Most of the lecturers that we had knew about what was happening in industry. I still remember some of our lecturers with fond memories. If you allow me to mention a few of them, Prof. Ampedu, SIK Ampedu, Prof. Tufo was excellent in transportation and teaching us transportation, the basis of transportation. Prof. Adams, Charles Enum Adams, Prof. Odai, SN Odai was excellent, and I can list, and certainly Prof. Adoma Samoa, who taught us strength of materials, structures, Prof. Kankam, and the list is unending. What they taught us, even right from school, could allow us to practice in industry. Let me pay a glowing tribute to Prof. The late, may his soul rest in perfect, Prof. Andam. Prof. Andam, who became also the Vice Chancellor of our university. I was lucky to be under his tutelage, and beyond that, I did internship in his firm, Andam Chartered Engineers. And so even by third year, he had prepared us to be structural engineers because of the practical experience that he gave us. And I do recall that I did my first structural design in third year after my internship, and I gave it to a senior engineer to check who was practicing, and he was impressed. And I think that bears testimony to the quality of teachers that we had, because I had friends at the time who had even gone to the United States, and they were amazed the things that we could do as Ghanaian engineers. So that is, those are some few things that I can say about my education. But post starting work, I remember I said I did some few gigs with Daewoo and so, and I remember going to work in Daewoo, and when I was leaving, they begged me that I should make sure I bring people, before I leave, I should bring someone from Kwame Nkrumah.
Nice.
That's all that the Koreans could say. My boss was one, Mr. Kim. We say, make sure you bring someone from Kwame Nkrumah, because they had a lot of people, but they could see the unique attributes of engineers from Kwame Nkrumah University. And so that's...
And you left a good testament.
Exactly. And joining the public service, going back to the University of Florida. Of course, going to the public service, you also learn new set of skills, but
different from the private sector.
Precisely. But the backbone is what we learned in KNUST. The backbone, I always said, even when I went to the University of Florida to do my master's, yes, at the time I was relatively, in my class, I was relatively one of the oldest at the age of 28, doing my master's, and I was with 21, 22-year-old people. But one of the things that was clear was that the skill set. I remember I did a course, fracture mechanics, and in that particular course, the professor assumed that because some of us were from Ghana and other developing countries, we didn't understand what he was teaching. So the first test, typical American universities, they do 3 examinations. The first exams, it came and I taught. And, he had arranged the script according to the highest. So he mentioned my name and he was surprised. So he later on came after this thing that I should follow him. He said, do you understand the things that we're doing? I said, these are things we did second year in KNUST. He said, are you sure? And these were some matrices. To do fracture mechanics, you should understand matrices very well. And these were, for me, in KNUST, they were basic matrices. And
he was surprised.
He was surprised. And I said, no, we did this thing in undergrad, and it was so easy. I mean, anyone from KN. And because of that, he always wanted to meet people from KNUST. And I think, once again, the education in KNUST is timeless, as I rightly put it. It's timeless. It's something you can.
Time.
It can stand the test of time, irrespective of where. From master's, PhD, I always trace my route back to KNUST. Yeah.
You were speaking about doing your internship.
Yes.
In third year.
Yes.
Was that when you started, or you?
Yes, I had done my internship. My first internship was in second year at Ghana Highway Authority in Koforidua.
Okay.
So that was where I did my first internship. And then third year, Prof. Adam. Also, I went to him, and those times you needed to apply to him that you want to work with him. So 3 of our colleagues applied, and I think he took 2 of us, and we were in Accra to do our internship in his firm. Yeah.
And your final year too?
Our final year, I did, if my memory says, I did not do any internship in the final year. Yeah.
Do you think the internship also has done anything?
Yes, I think that is key. That actually builds your confidence.
Okay.
And you're able to relate the things that you are taught with what is happening practically. And I gave you an example. 3rd year, after my internship with Andam, a mate of mine asked me to do a design for his uncle. And that was my first structural design on my own. And because of the set skills, they had taught us structures and everything, but with the internship, I could now put everything together. I did a design, gave it to a senior practitioner, actually back in Andam, to cross-check it for me, and he was amazed at things that I could do. So I think the internship thing is something, if we are not doing it now, we need to really take it serious.
We are doing it.
And we need to encourage every student, especially engineering student, to have a practical internship and make sure that they write the right reports when they return.
How many were you in class?
Well, during our time, we were, I think, 68 in class. So,
okay.
68 in my class. And we still have a platform. Most of them are on the platform.
2002,
23 years down the line, we are all together. And I think, unfortunately, one of us has passed on 2 years ago. May his soul rest in peace. But we are together on a good class platform.
I asked because I wanted to do the difference between the number of students we have now. You know, it's a requirement for every student to do
internship.
Yes, an industrial internship, at least once.
Yeah.
But the problem at the moment is getting places for them to intern, because the numbers are huge.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking. I wanted to know whether you were fewer, and so all of you got the chance.
Yes. Most people got a chance to do internship. Ghana Water, so many places. But if you allow me, this is where the Ghana Institution of Engineering comes in, in helping the College of Engineering, because the College of Engineering has been a very good partner of our institution, and most of the engineers or engineering practitioners that we have in the institution, key amongst them are the people from KNUST, and getting internship especially shouldn't be difficult when the institution can support in that respect, definitely, by helping in placement, getting the necessary contact. And I think these are things that maybe going ahead we can collaborate on between the institution and the College of Engineering. But beyond that, even mentorship program. I used to be the chair of education and training of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, and one of the things that I really used to work on was the mentorship. I think we've taken it a step further, and the coming council, I believe, can collaborate with KNUST to see how we can implement an effective mentorship program between practicing engineers and students going forward.
And not just undergraduate students, postgraduate students too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Because for me, I'm a product of good mentorship. I have been mentored by a lot of engineers, and I remember there's one engineer I want to thank so much. When I graduated fresh, I did my national service at the Yab Engineering Service, a construction firm. This engineer from TDC, Engineer Robert Aite, I owe a lot to him because he just saw me, he knew me from nowhere. He was working at TDC, Thermal Development Corporation. He identified me and just started mentoring me. Patrick, do this. Patrick, do that. This is what you are supposed to make sure that you learn. And even when I started working at the Department of Feeder Roads, joining the public service, he was a guide to me. And he's still a guide. He's someone I call on during difficult moments, and he's been a very good guide. 23 years down the line, I still see him as someone. And I've been mentored by so many people. So many people. So mentorship, professional mentorship is very key, and I've learned a lot through mentorship.
I agree.
Yeah.
We have a mentorship program we started just last year.
Very good.
And since you are expressing interest, we will definitely add you to the next cohort.
Thank you. I will be, because I've benefited so much from mentorship.
So we'll look forward to adding you.
Certainly.
Okay, so in our conversation earlier off camera, you spoke about being an adjunct lecturer
Yes.
at the college.
Yes.
I would like to specifically ask how you think your industry experience comes to play, shall I say, beneficially for the students at the College of Engineering, and what your observation too has been interacting with students.
Okay. All right. So let me say, post PhD, I taught outside for 2 years. Then I love to teach. Let me say, I love to teach. It's maybe within my genes, because my father was a teacher, and then he went to do business. And everywhere I find myself, I want to teach. Even as a graduate student, I was a teaching assistant in the university. And let me just say this joke. I used to, some of the students will say, this lecturer has an accent, because
Because it's with the Ghanaian accent.
The Ghanaian accent. But they still, when they rate me, they always rate me very high. Yes. So coming back to Feeder Roads, working in the ministry, I just felt a vacuum that I needed to teach. Luckily for me, I met Prof. Ampedu at the ministry one day. I spoke to him, and he said, well, I should bring my CV, this thing, and come and teach. See whether they will admit me. He reviewed and put me on one of their master's program in MSc in Geotech. So I started teaching foundation engineering since 2016. And I've been on it for a very long period. 2016 till now, I've been teaching every year. But a year after that, I was also approached. I said I have a master's in economics. I was also approached by Trek, Prof. Adams, to teach transport economics. So since 2017, I've also been teaching transport economics. So I've been teaching these two courses in the university every year. Let me say the two since 2017. So what do I bring on board? Because of my practical knowledge, and I see that also in most of the lecturers, I bring a lot of practical experience. And so all my foundation master students, if you are listening, you know that as part of the requirement, I always send you to projects. I also do a lot of private consulting. I've been involved in the foundation works for Pokwase Interchange. I was the foundation designer for Zome Engineering. And beyond that, Junction More Interchange, I did a foundation. Tamale Interchange, I did a foundation. So what I do...
So though you're a Feeder Roads,
yes, but I do consultancy, but because I have the knowledge, and you can use your knowledge to help the country wherever you find yourself.
Your versatility.
Precisely. And so the knowledge I acquired through this, I normally bring them on board in class. And I also give the students confidence, because sometimes you'll be teaching, and especially for my foundation class, you get people from geological engineering joining, and they may not have seen some of these structures that you are talking about. So just even sending them to the field, or using a video, or sharing your own experience with them, give them a different perspective. So one of the things I do is, for most of the topics, I take them first to the field before I teach them.
Okay.
And I actually learned this from the United States when they were teaching us. That's what a lot of the lecturers used to do. They will let you see the thing.
Gives you a basis so that you can visualize what you're hearing.
Precisely. So I think my, let me say, industrial experience has really helped. And I wish I could go into topics. There are some complex topics in foundation that I am able to explain it them so simply just because I'm able to the practical example. So it's not just the theory. I don't want to go into it, but
that's fine.
but the practical experience, and also in transportation economics, because of what I do at the Department of Feeder Roads, we do a lot of in principle because project appraisal involved with the economics aspect, and I'm able to bring that practical experience and also the connections. And for example, in transport economics class, what I do every year is to bring other practitioners that I know to come and teach. So I've brought people even from the World Bank, African Development Bank, our own ministry, Engineer Ifuefa, Engineer Philip Latte. They've all taught on my transport economics class, and there are many more who will be joining. Some of the past students who are even working in the bank have also taught on my transport economics class. Nice. So those are connections that I bring upon beyond my personal experience.
That's very impressive. Yeah. Thank you so much. The college is grateful.
Most welcome, and I'm also grateful to the college. I mean, the KNUST has been so good to me.
And you are being good to KNUST too. But then the teaching is perfect, and especially how you are explaining what you bring on board. Because, but then you said you teach only masters.
Yes, man, the master's program.
Unfortunate, because the undergraduates need that.
It's the time. It's the time. Working in the ministry, it's also
maybe
time.
Maybe you see how you can give us more time.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll see.
Because undergraduates need to benefit from it.
I will. I'll consider it.
Please do. But aside this, are there any projects you are doing or you plan to do with the college or for the college? All
right. So, let me say my wife and I set up the Amoah Bekoe Foundation.
Okay.
And we only set it up getting to the end of last year. And one of the things that we are looking for is raising funds to support research, to support impactful research. And so very soon, I don't want to talk so much, but you'll be hearing of the Amoah Bekoe Foundation and its supports to the College of Engineering. Especially, I have identified supporting the computer labs for the civil, especially the geotech program, and some other things.
We are looking forward to that. And we'll add our prayers.
Yes. So this year you'll hear from us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's specific.
Yes, this year great. Certainly the Amoah Bekoe Foundation you'll hear from us.
Wow, that's great. Your wife, is she an engineer?
No, I don't know whether she's an accountant. She's a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana. She specializes in financial accounting and auditing.
All right.
And I'm forcing her to be an engineer.
She wants to help her husband give back to his school.
Yeah, but it's taught to society because I got a scholarship to do my master's in the US.
Oh, okay.
And it's the people of Ghana's money. Okay, so the scholarship is not, it's from, of course, the Ministry of Roads and Highway, but it's for Ghanaians. So I'm a product, and that's one of the main reasons why I returned from the United States.
Otherwise, you would have stayed.
Yes, I just felt that I needed to give back, and I've sacrificed a lot giving back, and I think I still have more to give. Yes, and getting a scholarship open, and I've been a product of scholarships. Even in the United States, I got a scholarship to do a PhD, and so that's why I worked for a while yes, we'll give back going forward. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that
Yes.
because that is the main reason the endowment fund was
Yes.
established, and it's really difficult. Undergrad school fees are manageable,
Yes.
but postgrad school fees
Exactly.
are about 6 times the amount of undergraduates,
Yeah.
and many people find it difficult to come back and
Yeah.
finance themselves.
Yeah.
So your foundation is
Yes.
being looked forward to.
And luckily, my wife is also a product of Ghanaian scholarship.
Great.
She did a PhD in the University of Cape Town, and it was also a Ghanaian scholarship that she got, and she came back and now lecturing there. And so our family is a beneficiary of the goodness first of God, but of the people of Ghana, of the market woman who toils, of the farmer who toil day and night to get something on the table, because those are the taxes that we
That come
collect,
together, yeah,
that we
to make
use
up the scholarship
the
scheme.
scholarship scheme. So we need to think about giving back to them, and there's no other way than such foundations.
Yeah, to give back that market woman whose son is
Precisely.
reading engineering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. So we would like to end with an advice or two from you.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me say first to my audience, students, I know sometimes being in school can be very difficult.
Yeah.
Some of you may even be worried about the things that you are learning.
True.
There are students who think that what you are being taught, you will never use them. But I can tell you that KNUST, what you are being taught there is timeless once again. There are things that you are being taught that will last a lifetime, that will change your trajectory. Engineering is the basis. Let me say that engineers are the only professionals who can switch from engineering to medicine, who can switch from engineering to law, engineering to business, and do well. I forgot to add that I had my master's in public administration in Gimpa, and I was with people from all walks of life, but because of my engineering background, I was one of the best students in the class. Actually, the best student in the class was also an engineer.
Nice.
Who happened to meet my brother. That's just for another day. But my advice to you is that the calculus, the integration, the triple integration, the differential equations, the Fourier series, the Laplace transform, all those complex things that sometimes get you crazy. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and don't be dismayed. And you will certainly be part, with the dedication that you are getting, you will certainly be part of the transformational agenda of the country. The next advice I want to give you is that you are within an engineering family. As one of our past presidents said, Ghana is going where without engineering. So whilst you are in school, make sure you join your engineering societies, GISA, GISA. I was the vice president of Civil Engineering Society, CISA. I don't know whether it's still called.
There.
It's CISA.
Yeah, still CISA.
I was the vice president. I was organizing secretary.
Different years.
In different years. And so be active in those societies. GISA, be active in GISA, and when all is said and done, make sure that you contribute your quota to the development of our country. Never give up. That's my other advice. Never give up. Times are going to be tough, but the story I've told you may seem rosy, but it's been a lot of struggle. But don't give up. Don't give up, even when you are getting your 40s, 41, 42. and you are on the verge of, I don't know whether Ubekofie is still there.
It's there.
You're on the verge of Ubekofie. Don't give up. I'm telling you that there are people who have been on the verge of Ubekofie, and they have been involved in the great transformation of our country.
Because they didn't give up.
They didn't give up. So don't give up. Give back to society. There are so many things this CISA can do. Community service, giving back to the Kumasi community is something that we can all do.
Definitely.
As students. Don't, and be innovative, and let's help change this country. We complain about politicians, we complain about a lot of things, but we can be the change. So finally believe in yourself. Believe that you are the solution to the problem of this country. Any problem that you see around actually is a blessing, because it's not everybody that sees those problems. Every problem means that God has given you the ability maybe to change the trajectory. So find out how can you, there are problems with sanitation in this country. With your engineering background, what can you do? Mining, some of you are chemical engineering. Maybe you are the one to give us the solution to the challenges associated with mining. So I urge you to believe in yourself, and above all, I'm a man of faith. So if you allow me, trust in the Lord, your God, and trust that your Lord, your God, will lead you to greater heights. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's been a lovely time.
Thank you.